This training will cover adjusting reoccurring reservations in Outlook. The most important thing to remember when adjusting any reservation is changes must be made where the reservation was created. So if you make a reservation in Outlook, you must change it in Outlook. If you make a reservation in the web portal, you must make your changes in the web portal. If you do use the web portal for reservations, any requester, attendee, proxy, or other individual who has the meeting on their Outlook calendar will need to change the meeting manually in their Outlook also in order to keep the information in sync. In most cases, our requests will be made in Outlook, so this training will focus on Outlook adjustments. First thing when making an adjustment to a reoccurring schedule is, are you changing only one meeting or all of the meetings in the series? Based on your needs, you'll follow a different procedure. In all circumstances, you will want to be sure to make changes to any of the tabs which will be affected by your adjustment. So kiosk display time, setup information for a different room, or setup is no longer needed. You'll want to be sure to visit the Resource Scheduler tab to make your adjustments. If you make changes to any of the tabs, you must convey the changes in the Communications tab within Resource Scheduler. And lastly, after making changes to a reservation, it is best practice to go back into the Resource Scheduler reservation icon and click the Reoccurring tab to check that the list matches what is needed and the adjustment meets the outcome that was intended. We will go over all of that, but that information is extremely important when adjusting a reoccurring reservation. So in your Outlook, we're going to adjust a single meeting in a series. So in this Outlook calendar, I'm going to double click on the meeting that I wish to adjust. This pop-up asks what I'm trying to adjust. So again, we're going over a single occurrence, so we're going to open this occurrence and click OK. For time adjustments, you make the adjustment to the time in Outlook. So let's say I want this to go to 9. I am only adjusting a single occurrence because I've already said that when I opened up this appointment. Now that I've made the adjustment to the time, I am going to click on Resource Scheduler icon to go into my other screen. Now, Resource Scheduler recognizes that I previously had requested the backboard room. You can see here that I'm only editing a single occurrence at this time. You always want to double check and make sure your room is still available. So I made my adjustment. I have this reservation already. I've adjusted it now, or I'm trying to adjust it to go to 9. So I can see that the room is available. Since I do not see a conflict in the room I'm already reserved in, and I want to keep this room, all I have to do is click Save and Close. Basically, what that's done is adjusted my single meeting on the 23rd to run from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. My other meetings will still take place on the reoccurring schedule. However, the other meetings will be from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Now, since I just made adjustments to the time, as I said before, in all circumstances, I really should go back and just double check that my outcome was as I intended. So if I click in Resource Scheduler and click on Reoccurring, I can see that my dates are still there, but the time has changed for this top one, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The rest have stayed the same. The location is the same. Since I haven't made any changes, there's no reason for me to hit Save and Close. So I just go to this top box over here and hit Close. Now, let's just say we need to change a single date in a reoccurring meeting. In Outlook, you can use the drag and drop method for a single meeting. Find the date that you need to move on your Outlook calendar. Click and drag the meeting to the new date. So I'm here on the 23rd. I want to move it to the 24th. Let's hope that room's available. Now it's telling me I've changed the date of this occurrence, and it gives me the title. If you want to change the date of all, you must first open the appointment series. Do you want to change only this occurrence? Yes, I only want to change this one. So I click yes. Now, because I've made that adjustment to the date, I need to go in and make sure that the room is still available and that I change any information that's needed in Resource Scheduler. So I can double click this and open this occurrence because that's the only one I've changed. Now I can see that the date has changed here. I'm going to go into Resource Scheduler. I'm editing a single occurrence, and I'm going to look here and see if this room is in fact available. So this shows me January 24th. Sometimes it's easier just to click the search button again, because Resource Scheduler will look to make sure that my series is still going to work for this backboard room. Since I have checked that the room is available on the 24th for the room that I originally requested, I should be all set. I'll double check the reoccurring to make sure that I am now on the 24th for my meeting from 8 to 9. The other meetings have stayed the same, and I'm still in the backboard room. Since I've confirmed this information and I know from my previous meeting that the room was already available for the other two dates, I can just hit Save and Close. It's important to note that any time, excuse me, that you make an adjustment to one of your reservations, this communication tab is going to be key for all individuals. So you select this tab and you click New, and you can make a note to the room processor. This will let them know when they receive notice what was actually changed and that it wasn't something minor that had really prompted no response on their behalf. And again, since I'm finished, I can just hit save and close. Let's say that you need to make an adjustment for a single reservation and you want to adjust just the room. You will double click single reservation, so it's only this occurrence. And I know that I need to change this location. So you can erase this information if you would like to here in the location spot before, or you can do it after you find a room. It's up to you. So I'm going to go into the resource scheduler. And I know that I don't want it in the back boardroom. I'd like a room that's a little bit more open. So as of right now, that's where it's scheduled, is the back boardroom. I need to see what else is available out there. So I'm going to click search. Once my results come up, I'm going to find a room that will meet for my single date that I was looking at. So any one of these rooms are going to meet that criteria. I'm going to select this room. This is the room that I wanted in. I come back up here and I take the check mark out of the backboard room. I no longer want it in that room. And I hit save. You can see that I no longer have that room in the backboard room, but I do have it scheduled for conference room A. I'm editing a single occurrence, and since I have now changed rooms, I need to make sure that everything else that I completed for my tabs is going to match what I've just requested. So I'm requesting for conference room A. I need to go in and say, we'll use event title. And since this is not a room for setup, I don't need to fill out any of that information, so I should be good there. Do I need the same changes because I've clicked on another tab? I click OK. Now, if I look at my reoccurring, I can see that I've made other adjustments. This one will start at 9. It's in the backboard room. This is the one that we just changed. It's still 8 to 8:30, part of the other series, but it's now in conference room A. I've made all the changes that I need, and I can hit save and close. If you have attendees, you'll have the option to send the update. Because ultimately, you're still just in Outlook. You were just on a different screen. Save and close. And I am all set. Going back, I didn't put the communication in for this meeting to let them know now, mind you, when on the approver end, they'll receive if the room needed to be approved, they'll receive a notice requesting them to approve the room. The communication may not be necessary, but it's always good practice to make sure that you're putting that information in if you're making changes. Excuse me. Now let's say we need to make an adjustment to a whole series of meetings. In Outlook, you will double click. There we go. And this time we're going to tell Outlook we want to open the entire series because that's what we need to make an adjustment on. Now we have the reoccurrence here, and this is where we need to make the adjustment in this situation. So I need to change my reoccurrence. Let's change all of them to Wednesday from 8 to 8:30. Now, it's very important to note, because I'm making a change to the entire series, any exceptions to the rule, so where we adjusted maybe one meeting to have a different time or one meeting to have a different room, all of them will be reset to match this. I click OK. See? Exemptions associated with the appointment will be canceled, which means they'll be reset to this reoccurrence schedule. Now, since I am making a change to this series and the reoccurrence, I'm going to click on Resource Scheduler. Of course, we will check to make sure the resources are still available. You can see up here, it's telling you you're editing the full series. Down here, we're going to double check and make sure that the boardroom is still available. I'm sorry, the back boardroom. And I don't see any conflicts down here. We do know that we can see here the schedule is fine, it's open. If it was not available, it would also prompt us when we hit save. So I need to go into my options. Is this information still correct? Let's just say yes, it is. Here's my new series. See how everything has changed back to now Wednesday every week from 8 to 8:30 in the backboard room. That information is all correct. Since I am making a new adjustment to the same series, I'm actually just going to say I'm going to convey that I had to change the entire reoccurrence. I hit submit. And really this just, again, gives that information to a room admin or even yourself of what actual changes took place in a room. So now I've made the adjustments, I've looked at the room, I've made the adjustment to the reoccurrence schedule. Now I can hit save and close. Again, if it was a meeting, you would send an update. All right. Well, this concludes the training for adjusting reoccurring reservations in Outlook.